KTN News. This is a special edition of Positively Montana.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Positively Montana. I'm Tom Wiley at the Shriners Children's Hospital here in Spokane, Washington. Thanks for joining us. Well, the Montana East-West Shrine Game is less than a week away, and while football is obviously the main event, the funds raised from the game contribute directly to the important work being done here inside this building and at outreach clinics across the region. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you inside the hospital to show you just how your donations help the staff here care for kids. We'll start with a look at the mission of the hospital, which is celebrating 100 years of operation.
The Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane opened its doors in November of 1924. It was the seventh hospital in the Shriners Children's Network, which was established to provide high-quality medical care to children, regardless of the patient's ability to pay. The scope of the work has changed over the last century, but as Hospital Administrator Peter Brewer tells us, the mission remains the same.
The first hospital within the system started in 1922, Shreveport, Louisiana. We were the seventh hospital to come online. What started out as initially treating polio has certainly grown from that to kind of providing pediatric orthopedic care, ranging from a very simple to complex, surgeries. It's all about care for the kids, and that's never changed. It's always been, regardless of the ability to pay.
Today, the hospital in Spokane is one of 22 Shriners facilities in North America. It serves kids in Idaho, Washington, Alaska, Canada, and Montana, and boasts a strategy of more kids in more places closer to home. And that's where outreach clinics play a vital role. Shriners Children's Spokane currently operates 4 clinics in the region, including one in Kalispell, with a planned expansion in Missoula.
Some families are traveling from, several hours away, round trip. That takes a big chunk of their day, and a lot of them have other siblings and other things going on in their life. And so the fact that they can just kind of come in and, come in for a simple appointment and leave, the same day, it might save them an overnight trip maybe it might not be simple for them to make. And so they're just gratitude. They're so grateful.
And none of the work would be possible without support from donors and events like the Montana East-West Shrine Game.
We couldn't do it without that support. We are a philanthropic organization, and for anyone in Montana, I think, rest assured that all those funds and money will come directly to this hospital and only to this hospital.
If we're able to help a child get back to an activity that's important to them, or maybe make a task that was difficult for them easier, just so that they can live their life in a way that gives them joy and happiness and lets them just be a kid. And we are not able to provide the care we do without the support of all of the generous donors, and we're so grateful.
While we were visiting the hospital here in Spokane, we had a chance to meet with an active 7-year-old patient from Missoula who is thriving in life thanks to the care she's received for the last 4 years. Her story drives home why the work here is so vital.
Finley Guay loves to be outdoors, and she loves to play sports. One in particular.
My favorite sport is soccer.
Soccer? Okay.
They're really good at it too, huh?
Or gymnast, if you count that as a sport.
But that wasn't always the case. Finley's knees gave her problems growing up.
So we've been coming since Finley was 3, so about 4 years. When she was 3, we noticed that her knees would hyperextend and pop out of place. It was around that age we enrolled her in soccer the first year, and she couldn't finish. It looked like she's probably not going to be able to do this, which she really wanted to do with her friends. And
the Guay family received a referral to the Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane, followed by surgeries and rehab.
5, right? When she was 5.
5 or 6.
We had her first surgery where they put in some plates to help her knees grow the right way and tighten up her ligaments. And then she had another surgery after that to remove the hardware. So
when I first came here, my knees could pop out a lot, but they didn't hurt, and now they pop up barely ever.
A hospital can be a scary place, but at Shriners, the goal is to make the experience comfortable on kids, and that's appreciated by Finley and her family.
Even surgery, it's so geared towards children, and like even pre-op and post-op is keeping the kids so involved in their care, their pain control, their whatever's happening. And so when you had your surgery, what was your favorite part? What did they make that you liked the best?
Food.
Oh, they do give you good food, yeah.
They give me fries.
Yes. What did they put on your legs?
A cast, and I got to choose out a little puppy pattern.
Yeah.
And of course, all care received at the Shriners Hospital comes at no charge to the patients, which made for a stress-free experience in an otherwise trying time.
After COVID, I got really sick, and so we had medical bills really piling up, and it was super good to know we could come here and Finley could get her treatment, and we never had to worry, you know, and we had all these other bills and coming in, and we knew this was never a worry, not where we would stay, not where we would eat, not where anything. So it's been amazing.
And it's allowed Finley to live and move the way she was always meant to, at full speed.
It's great to see her at soccer, you know, just running and not being so guarded like she used to be, you know, kind of running more at her full potential and not like hanging back. And, you know, it's great to be able to see that.
One of the things that makes the Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane stand out is the high level of care and the state-of-the-art treatment. Take the Motion Analysis Center, which houses the Gate Lab, featuring technology straight out of Hollywood.
So there's 12 of these cameras in the room, and they just shine off infrared light, and then from that, it'll reflect off anything that's reflective, come back to the camera system, go to Jackson's computer system, and then we'll see in the room a bunch of glowing dots. This is the same system that's used for every Marvel movie that's out there at this point.
The information gathered is used to analyze a person's walking and movement to identify underlying issues and drive treatment plans.
Is you'll see three basically planes of motion. So you can see a frontal plane, anything in this plane. So it'd be like if you're leaning side to side, right? Or if you get the sagittal plane from the side, we're looking at the amount of like knee flexion that occurs, ankle dorsiflexion movement, hip flexion, trunk flexion. And you can see that from a camera too, any just camera. But what we miss is you miss the rotation or this transverse alignment.
The staff was gracious enough to let this reporter take the system for a spin, but it required me to shed a layer of clothing to place the sensors. Warning, viewer discretion advised.
Looking pretty marvelous.
All right, marvelous. Okay,
Now you're
all right,
set.
let's
After some calibration and graceful movements, the system created a real-time 3D model based on my motion.
And there you are. Now it follows you around, so when you move, it's you.
And following some recordings and readings, I received the results.
These graphs are looking at different areas of your body, essentially.
Ultimately, despite some pelvic tilt and duck feet, I have a pretty normal gait. But this lab is not for me. It's for the children in this region with orthopedic conditions, and the data they can gather and hear is invaluable for treatment.
And we use this for basically surgery and determining at what point does a kid need surgery and what we're going to do during the surgery and to what degree do they surgerize them, essentially.
Still to come on this special edition of Positively Montana. Meet two of the doctors at the Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane with direct connections to the Treasure State and the Montana East-West Shrine Game. Stay with us.
Our special edition of Positively Montana continues after this. From MTN News, welcome back to our special edition of Positively Montana.
When you think of Shriners Children's Spokane, you think of the orthopedic care it provides for young children. But in 2021, the hospital started a sports health and medicine program, and one of the surgeons on staff here hails from the High Line. MTN Slim Kimmel met with Dr. Tom Halverson to learn about his Montana upbringing and efforts to expand the sports medicine program.
Sports medicine has come a long way in a short amount of time.
Sports medicine, when it first started, was basically just a doc would go to the ball games on a Friday night, and they were just there if somebody got hurt. We now have certified athletic trainers that are involved with the local high schools, and we have physicians who are involved in helping provide the coverage. So we're really integrating ourselves into the community and the schools to help keep the kids healthier.
The Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane is known for its work in pediatric specialty care and recently expanded its coverage to include sprains, strains, fractures, overuse injuries, and other sports-specific ailments. Dr. Halverson is part of the hospital's fast-growing sports medicine team, but he wasn't always sure this is where he would end up.
When I first started, I didn't think it would be sports, even though I sort of played sports and stuff and had some minor injuries. But then when I started doing my rotations in medical school and residency and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is for me. This is what I want to do.
Halverson long had his eye on the Shriners Hospital and joined their staff about a year ago. And just a few weeks ago, the hospital added a sports medicine therapy gym.
More and more kids, they're starting younger, they're being more focused on what they do, they're doing things, specialization earlier, and we're actually seeing a lot more injuries. So we're trying to get really involved, and I think the biggest thing we'll see is better injury prevention so that they have to come see us less. Even though we're a surgical hospital, our department's goal is to get these kids healthy so they don't have to come see us.
Halverson has now lived in Spokane for 25 years, but he grew up on the High Line in Malta.
There's something about growing up in a small town that just makes you different. There's a certain amount of self-reliance and initiative you have to have when you're out there in the middle of nowhere.
Halverson played football during what he considers the first heyday of Mustang football in the 1970s. Malta was the Class A runner-up in 1976 and 77.
Some of those kids that I played with went on and played in the Shrine Game. I'd watched the Shrine Game with my dad from when I was younger. We used to go to the game, so I knew about it. Now here I am working at the place that we were raising money for.
The Montana East-West Shrine Game is one of the longest-running all-star games in the country and raises funds for the Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane, which has been providing children with specialized health care for 100 years.
I didn't appreciate the level of the mission when I was younger watching the ball games. We knew it was a Shriners Hospital, we knew what it was for, but I didn't really appreciate back then.
This year's game will represent a full-circle moment for Halverson. The boy who grew up attending the game with his father will be the doctor on the sidelines at Dela Stadium in Billings.
I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a long time since I've been to one, but I'm looking forward to it.
Few people can attest to the impact of the Shriners Children's Hospital in Spokane like Dr. Glenn Baird.
I think I'm probably the longest full-time ever. I think so. That since they started having employed physicians here at Shriners in Spokane.
This August will mark 25 years that Baird has been at the hospital. A pediatric orthopedic surgeon by trade, Baird is now the hospital's chief of staff.
So we've got 6 surgeons. We have hand surgeons that come. We have some non-operative doctors that are here now. So our medical staff is over doubled in size that period of time. When I came, everyone was treated as an inpatient, and now the majority are outpatients because you don't need to be in the hospital for most things.
And while the hospital primarily cares for kids in the region, Baird has had some unique opportunities to help international patients.
We've had an outreach that we've done for children from Mexico the entire time I've been here. So we've seen a lot of children from Mexico and done surgery on them. More recently, the Shriners, they've centralized the way they do their international care. And since we're experienced in doing that, we have a family center here,
which has brought in patients from all over the world, typically kids with advanced maladies after treatments have been delayed due to the lack of resources in their home countries.
We've had children from Vietnam, from Panama, from Ecuador, all over with varying issues. The girl from Turkey who lost part of her foot, very tragic accident, and it affected her family in a very tragic way, but we're able to take care of her, get her fit with a prosthesis, do a surgery to improve her ability to wear a prosthesis.
One constant has been the kids. Each one of these doctors is motivated by providing compassionate, meaningful care to children, from infants to teenagers.
Very frequently in clinic, I see patients for the last time that I've known since they were infants. And they shed tears. I shed tears sometimes. All of them have fought to the best of their ability, and I think as a group they've been made better, and they've definitely benefited from the whole program, not just me. I'm the one they say goodbye to, but they're saying goodbye to everyone.
Reporting in Spokane, Slim Kimmel, MTN.
Coming up on this special edition of Positively Montana, we'll meet 2 former patient ambassadors at the Montana East-West Shrine Game who drive home why the mission of the hospital is so vital. We'll be right back.
Our special edition of Positively Montana continues after this. From MTN News, welcome back to our special edition of Positively Montana.
Every year, the Montana East-West Shrine Game showcases the state's top football players and cheerleaders. But to keep the purpose of the game in focus, the week also includes a patient ambassador who is front and center at each and every public event. MTN's Brandon Sullivan introduces us to the 2023 ambassador from Dillon.
Hello and welcome to Naranche Stadium in the heart of Uptown Butte. This gridiron has seen some of the most historical battles over the last 8 decades, but tonight it is home to the 76th Montana East-West Shrine Game. I'm Ashley Washburn, one of your hosts for tonight's pregame show.
The Montana game is the #1 Shrine game in the country right now.
Let's go, boys. Mono, just work a little pass rush now. Hey, we don't got the cone.
Have been for the last several years. That's something that we Shriners in the hospital certainly is very proud of. And I think it's #1, it's just the people of Montana who get behind this game and see the benefit of it. And we've got a lot of people who work very hard at making sure that we're the #1 game every year. And at the end of the day, the kids in the hospitals are the winners because of this.
How about this, Maddie? Can you see me? If I stand right here?
His official disease is spinal muscular atrophy, and he has a subset that's called LED, so lower extremity deficient. So basically your legs are really impacted with Gavin. He started physical therapy at 18 months old, and he didn't walk until he was 22 months. So we've always been extremely proactive with Gavin, getting him in therapy, getting him in with his braces, just not letting things de-escalate to the point where, oh, now he needs surgery or something like that. His first time going to Shriners was in 2019.
What was that experience like?
It was phenomenal. It's you don't know what to expect walking in the door because it's, oh gosh, it's a doctor's office, but they're so kind and so gentle, and the kids, they just make it such a fun atmosphere for the kids. They're just so nice, and you can tell they have a passion to want to help these kids, and it just changes the whole dynamic.
You feel it. You feel the appreciation from the people that are involved with it, but for the people that we're benefiting too. Our motto is, it's all for the kids. It's we, not me. It's for a cause that's bigger than us.
The level of care that Shriners gives is world-class care, and you don't walk away with the bill. We've had big tests done, thousands and thousands of dollar tests done for Gavin, and we've never once seen a bill.
We're all competitive. We all want to win the game, but we check our egos at the door. We learn to share playing time, and it's all for a cause that's bigger than us. And the result is a huge donation to the hospital, and that benefits the kids in Montana. So winning kind of takes second place to that. It's a close second, but it's a second place. Our players become heroes for some of these young kids, and it's a really cool deal. Every year at our Shrine Camp, our patient ambassador gets to run a play against the West team. The ambassador scores a touchdown every year against the West, and it's my favorite day of camp by far.
I think the emotions really kicked in
following him down the field, it was just a cool moment and a different perspective from that people don't really get to see. I was trying not to cry, running behind him. I just am glad that he got to experience it because he probably won't be able to play.
You just fall in love with these kids. It's a special bond that's created in just a week.
Did you know that they were going to win the game?
Yeah.
You did? How'd you know?
Because the West is the best.
Well, thank you for joining us for this special edition of Positively Montana. Now, if you can't make it to Billings for the 2024 Montana East-West Shrine Game, we'll be carrying the game live on your local CBS station on Saturday, June 15th. And if you feel so inclined, the phone lines will be open for donations. I'm Tom Wiley. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this MTN News special edition of Positively Montana.